Free SHS, it is not going anywhere. What was said was political talk, and it was just political gimmickry. What we're going to do is to get dedicated funding for it.
Assemble Ghana for a can say, Nanado echa free SHS, Nanado echa free SHS, Mahama Bow echa free SHS. It has been said repeatedly after say ya to abani vieno. Now John Dramani Mahama Ede in Yanua, but as to the stance on free SHS. Aha, Mago Life, media subscribe like it. Now share video no for from. On the free SHS no Kofo be great. Now this year isaba. Much say Mahama ebetra free SHS thing. So what you say? The way Canada, but John Dramani Mahama interview no what train the stance on free SHS. Now what should I say?
When it comes to education, a lot of young people thought maybe the election could have even gone the other way because of free education. But at the same time, they are worried that this program where a lot of young people are benefiting, or the parents are afraid that once you get into office, you might scrap that.
Free SHS has come to stay, and it is not going anywhere. Nobody is going to scrap free SHS. What was said was political talk, and it was just political gimmickry. Free SHS is not going anywhere. We're going to maintain the policy. What we're going to do is to get dedicated funding for it so that it is better resourced than it is currently. There's a lot of waste in the system. We're going to help to make it more efficient so that the teachers, the parents, and the students get the best out of the free SHS. We're going to look at the basic school level too. Because we have focused on free SHS, we are abandoning the basic level. And so the basic level is becoming a major problem. 1.3 million pupils at the basic level do not have furniture. They don't have tables and chairs to sit on. They lie on their stomachs in the classroom or sit on cement blocks. And that's because all our focus has been on the secondary school level. So we're going to hold a national education forum, and that forum is going to bring all the stakeholders together. And we're going to take a look at the whole education value chain. And we're going to come, and by consensus, all of us, it's non-partisan, everybody of every walk of life who has a stake in education is going to be at that conference. And we're going to take important decisions on how to reform our education so that the children get better quality. And so that's what we're going to look at. But the thing about me coming and scrapping free SHS, it was just political gimmickry by the MPP. Free SHS has come to stay. We're going to make it better. We're going to improve the quality of the food for the children.
Here of Galamsey.
Yeah.
What do you say about it? How are you going to... we had protests last year, and previously there's been a lot of agitation.
When this government came, they passed an LI which allowed entry into forest reserves to mine. And since the last 8 years, 37 forest reserves have been, there have been incursions into 37 forest reserves. Some have been almost completely destroyed. And so the first thing is to stop mining in forest reserves. And so we're going to work with the Minerals Commission and the Environmental Protection Agency to see how we implement the law so that it stops this poisoning of our water bodies.
Well, Mr. President, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
My regards to Shaka.
So right after the interview, only said last week, and I got to Aba. Now a day by now, not just say easy. Eba be declare say John Dramani Mahama and a winner. And until no kwasiada John Dramani Mahama, baby, Osmia ya Assemblies of God, or Kohono Kudenya Miase. It was a nice Thanksgiving, a call. So John Dramani Mahama didn't miss so, or didn't do this and be so at Suja.
The Almighty God for what He has done, not only for us, but for our whole country. All of you will just stand up, all my siblings and spouses and friends. Yeah, thank you very much. They themselves were on the campaign trail in different parts, rallying support for me. And I want to thank all of you very much for what you've done for me. You may be seated. So we give thanks to the Almighty God for a peaceful and successful election. Anytime we're about to have elections, people have anxiety that the elections might end in violence or in unpleasantness. But always God comes through for us, and He makes us go through it successfully and peacefully. I cried unto God and brought my supplications to the Almighty, and He responded with bountiful blessings and success. And for that, I give Him thanks. This victory can only be divine. God assured me in my heart, and I knew. He spoke to me and said that He will bless me with success in this election. But I did not know that the blessing was going to be so bountiful, and that the victory was going to be so massive and so dramatic, that I give Him all the thanks and blessing for what He has done, not only for me, but for the whole of Ghana. He has done good for Ghana because He has restored the sovereignty and the power of the people of Ghana. We've practiced democracy since 1992. With time, the political elite, and I'll say including myself, all of us who God has given the opportunity to lead this country, we have grown in arrogance and selfishness, and we have believed that the power that we wielded over the people belonged to us, ourselves, and did not recognize that it was God who gave it to us temporarily. So God has made us know that power belongs to the people. And that the people might be quiet and peaceful and calm, but when they have reached their limits, they will show you that real power belongs to them. And that is God who gives that power. And so, just as our colleagues in the MPP might be feeling very pained by their loss, it should serve as a lesson to those of us coming into government that the same stick that Techi has been beating with, Ghanaian people are deserving it for ban. So I've been receiving knocks on my door, receiving text messages, people who are considering themselves for various positions, and I just want to warn them, it's not going to be a walk in the park. If you are not prepared to work and serve the people of Ghana diligently and modestly and with humility, then don't come. Just stay where you are. My political journey has been a divine one, and I believe that it's God who has guided my step each way until now, from being a member of parliament to being a deputy minister, to being a minister, to being a vice president, to being a president. At each step, I have doubted whether it was the path that I wanted to carry on. But God has gently continued to push me and showed me in the direction that He wants me to go. And I know that it's Him who has put me for a time like this to do His work for Ghana and for Him. But sometimes it has been sadness, it has been very lonely. And I remember a time when I had won the election in 2012, and I went to visit President Kufuor. And it was surprising how quiet his house was, and how quiet the entrance to his house was. And I was transported back to when he was president. Anytime I was going to Parliament, I lived in East Legon. There was a huge crowd in the frontage of his house next to Villaggio. You people know that place. And anytime it was Christmas or the Muslim feast of Salah, you see white sheep and cows tied outside his house being brought to him as gifts. And so this time when I came, it was very quiet. He had just a few policemen at the entrance, his loyal policemen who had been assigned to him by the state. And so when I went in, I remarked, I said, oh, look how quiet your house is. I remember when you were president, this place was always full of people. And he said, John, Take note of that. Know that all those people are coming to you because of the position you occupy. And that one day when you leave that position, your house will be as quiet as mine. And it's true, when I lost in 2016, the Christmas hampers stopped coming. There are many people who used to come to my gates and come and try to get in to just to see me for a minute, stop coming. It was only my siblings, my family, my closest friends and others, my church members who continue to stand closely to me. So for me, these trappings of power don't get to my head. I know that all the praises and blessings you'll be showered with by people are temporary. It's because of that word attached to your name, president. One day it will go and you'll be with those who are just your closest, your church, your family, and your good friends. This has been a very grueling campaign. And there were times when the spirit was willing, but the flesh was weak. There were mornings when getting out of bed was quite a struggle because we had just come back from campaigning at about 3 a.m. and by 8 a.m. they were asking you to get up and hit the road again. And yet, when I managed to get out of bed and stood under the shower, it was as if God was washing all the fatigue away. I stepped out of the shower and God had given me a renewed energy for that day to start my day.
Mabo life media and I was so good so I would see any good so I would heavily. You're by your mommy on this subscribe, you'll be like it. Now, I shave you and dear Marvel from me day, and I miss some other macam.